and welcome to a gameplay of Cyberpunk Red, the new edition of Artosorian Games' legendary Cyberpunk game. So, a couple of things before we get started. We have, as you will see very soon, a missing in action. So if we have someone kind of pop in halfway through, it's just because our player got a little bit late. But if not, we'll just play with the ones that we have, and I have a very good group of players. So if we can just have a look at who they are. Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm doing good.
Great.
Thank you.
Do we want to just go around and you guys can just say your names so that everyone knows? Let's start with you, Ollie.
I'm Ollie. I will be playing.
If you want to introduce your character now, that's fine.
I'll be playing the meteor of the group.
Right.
Hello, my name is Aaron, and I will be playing the medtech.
Hello, I'm Ruben and I'll be playing the techie of the group.
Great. Yes. So, if we're all ready to start, I will just kind of make a quick introduction, and we will begin. So, the year is 2043. For decades, the mega corporations of Night City have been waging war against each other, to the point where, about 7 years ago, Arasaka and Militech, two of the most influential and powerful corporations of Night City, have detonated atomic bombs within the city. This leads to what we call the Age of Red. Due to the after effect, the aftermath of and the fallout of the nuclear bomb exploding in Night City, the sky, the radiation covering it, has made it so that the entire landscape of Night City is got this red hue to it. Since then, technology has reinvented itself. Gone are the days of the cyber decks where netrunners would have to sift through and siphon through what we would call the net space. Now they wear cyber suits. They use VR, AR, and other strange new terms that we haven't really learned yet. But that is not what any of our group of characters does. You guys live a little bit more on the ground. Some of you attend to cybernetics, others attend to the people wearing them, and others, well, tell stories about the terrible corporations that have come to sacrifice the small person and the edge runners living in Night City. We begin on one of the side alleys of Chinatown. You all have been summoned to this place, and you are currently unaware of each other. All you know is that you have been brought in together. But you are hearing this individual standing in the middle of the street. As far as you can tell, no cyberware on them, which you could know. This could be an individual known as the Meat Prophet, or one of the Meat Prophets. And he goes about, "You see, it is important, my children, that we keep the flesh to the flesh. No more of that metal, no more of that internet pulsing through your veins. You must become pure." At this point, as you start to hear some of the people around, it's about 50 people here, start to talk amongst each other. Most of them, like most people in Night City, have cyberware on them. You see massive mirror shades that retract into people's skulls, fingernails that extend, and the generic cyber limb, platinum or just very metallic color appearing. At this point, you see some of the individuals from the Night City Police Department, the NCPD, push through. They grab the Meat Prophet and they start kind of dragging him off the street. In the mix of this kerfuffle, there are some individuals that at first try to grab onto the prophet. Let him speak! Freedom! Freedom! And these people are immediately apprehended. From what you know, they are probably going to get a slug in their heads before long. There is a slightly frail-looking individual that comes over to you and says, Mr. Richmond will come to see you now.
Why, thank you.
You just want to go down there. And you notice he's pointing to a big neon sign, flashing red, that reads the Vampire, which is a bar that you would recognize. Just head upstairs. The individual moves up over to you and says, Mr. Richmond would like to talk to you. I believe you were summoned.
I see.
Just down there on the Vampire. Comes over to you, recognizes you slightly immediately, and says, I believe the Raker is why you're here. Right. The three of you walk towards the Vampire, and immediately you are ushered upstairs. A big door, about twice the normal size of one, but not enough to be a double, like big double doors that swing. A door just retracts as you approach. And inside you see this beautifully lit in kind of pink colours room. A sofa that runs all across the railing of the room. A big table down in the centre. And you see also the pink lighting is essentially a massive LED that seems to circle over. There are some projections being shot from this LED that you see kind of animate an aquarium, but it's all holograms. You admire the tech being used to create such a device. Fairly basic and easy to produce, but still impressive. Sitting in the center of this massive sofa, now sprawling around, is this massive individual. Probably a bodybuilder or strongman of some sort, at least in his heydays, with hair that has completely gone back to the back of the skull, but yet he wears it quite long. Big mustache, kind of hand to hand, that comes down, and big sideburns. Wearing what you immediately recognize as being a very expensive piece of cyberware on his right limb. This beautifully carved, you definitely look at it and see how well it is made. With a very particular and interesting point, it is bright pink. And it seems to be coloured in a kind of mate that appears to make it look like plastic. But you definitely pick up on that's a lot more expensive than it looks. He's wearing he is basically Caucasian, and he's wearing a like fluorescent orange kind of tank top, a big belt buckle, and he's just sitting there kind of leaning back. Says, well, 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 what have we here? I believe that you are a ragtag group of individuals that I brought in. Sit, please, make yourselves at home. Drinks?
I'm on the job.
Not to my tastes.
I'm fine, thanks.
Very well. Good to see that someone around these parts still has some, some manners. Well, I believe that you all know each other.
I don't think we're yet acquainted.
No, not yet.
You don't? Oh, well. Not for me to stand on ceremony, please. I think introductions are in order then. Who would like to go first?
Well, if you guys are what I'm working with, hello. I'm Quentin. Reporter. Probably read my magazines. Not much else to say.
I see. They call me Bishop. And you could say I'm a surgeon of sorts.
The name's Vio. I spend a lot of time working, but it's important, so...
Could you repeat?
My name's Vio. I spend a lot of time working on important projects, so...
Oh well. What a nice group. Well, Mr. Quentin, I believe that you received the first introduction to what we're doing.
Get in, get out, get something in between.
That's what I like to hear. Well, what happens is this. First, you all know this. I am Rich Richmond, or you can call me Raker. I am here on behalf of a source deep within Militech Corporation. Very high up. Quite an expensive job, but it pays well. This corp basically wants to know what is going on within Arasaka. Don't have to tell you what happens when Militech and Arasaka don't do well with each other. I believe we're all still breathing that terrible, terrible radiation. We're all eventually going to die soon, so we might as well die on a blaze of glory, eh? This individual is looking for potentially dangerous information that Arasaka might be working, something to bring the other corporations together. And I think, Mr. Quentin, that's where you come in. Your ability to make corporations hate you is well regarded in Night City, at least on the lower levels.
Don't know how I'm still alive, but I'm still kicking.
I hear you have a big target on your back.
That's a new one.
Well, after I heard of this job, I hired a couple of net runners, but I don't know what kind of demons Arasaka's got going on in their network. Fried their whole brains out, so I thought a more standard and old-fashioned approach of a heist would be something that a lot of you would be interested in. So, Mr. Quentin, I hired you, and obviously we need someone to access computers, and we need someone to take care of wounds in case things go south, which in Night City is very likely. So, anything else you'd like to discuss with me? And he kind of brings in a briefcase that he opens, and you see sort of a data pad, quite kind of high tech. Slides it across the room. It kind of just slides, and you see the colors just flashing. All the information that is necessary is over there. If there's anything that requires a more personal touch, Rich Richmond is your service.
I don't believe that will be necessary, but thank you for the offer.
Yes, thank you for your offer. I believe this seems acceptable by standards.
Indeed.
As always, do have one issue. No muscle. We're going into a big corp.
Yeah, we had a bit of a problem with the individual we were hiring. I was hoping that perhaps we can keep this on the down low, perhaps avoid any confrontations. After all, there is your meat that gets thrown into the recycler, but perhaps you can find a better way of infiltrating undercover. Sounds like a good idea. But, Mr. Quentin, you are famous for your ability to get into buildings like this, so...
Fair enough.
As for payment, each one of you will receive 2,000 Eurobucks for your work. I believe that will be quite the bump up on your accounts, as far as I'm aware. So, very well. I will leave it.
2,000 each.
2,000 each. Yes.
Okay.
Militech plays well.
Fancy.
Sometimes.
Every time I worked with them, I've left a very much happier man. So, I believe you have some acquaintance to be made and some planning to be done. I'll leave you to it. He kind of gets up, walks across the small table. You all, as he passes by, you will feel this intense scent of kind of fake roses, as most plants are in Night City, but it's super concentrated. And it's actually terrible. And he goes into the door that opens. You hear the kind of noise of the beat of the music that is playing on the other side of the wall, and eventually the door closes back up, and the three of you are left alone.
Well, nice to meet you.
Very nice indeed. What a...
Well, I don't think we should waste any time.
Can't say I'm excited, but it's part of my job. Let's do it.
The opportunity seems immensely favourable, yeah.
So,
Does-
any ideas, plans up front?
Do you believe you could secure a way to get in immediately? Or
I
cover?
can figure something out.
First, I think we should take a look at this chip we've been gifted. Maybe that will shed some insight on how we have to get in. And he'll slot it into the little compartment in his head and have a little look.
The data slate.
Sorry?
The data slate we were given.
It's still, center of the table. Cool. You press it and kind of projects a light up, and this bluish white light, and a face appears. And kind of tilts looking at all of you. You feel a small kind of laser scanner go up and down each one of you, as if it's identifying. Identity confirmed. Goes down. And immediately you see a building appearing. Big sign of this kind of grain of wheat, and just saying Arasaka Corp next to it. And it kind of guides you through the information that Rich has. The item that you were looking for will be situated on the main servers of that particular Arasaka building, which is located in the northeastern area of Night City. You are to access the servers and retrieve what appears to be a data link within a ghost drive. Doing that without a net runner is obviously, you would all kind of know, reasonably complicated. Some of you might have a little bit more tech skill and are able to use computers and neural links to several degrees, but a net runner would just make things a lot quicker. But also, Richmond just told you that there's some sort of demon on the webs of Arasaka protecting. So, yes. The server itself, the access point, would be on the 59th floor, on the southern end of the building.
Seems like a lot of work. Oh, it's one drive.
Well, it's for a good price, I think.
We are getting paid a decent amount for it.
That is true.
It's hard money to come by in these times, so...
And I could use all the more for certain devices. it seems just very dangerous as well. So,
So is living on the street.
If we die, then I suppose we die. We died potentially stealing from Arasaka, the biggest corporation in Night City. I believe that's a celebration in itself.
Like Rich said, go out in a blaze of glory.
go out in a blaze of glory.
Now, ideas off the top of my head. How good are you with zip lines?
I'm fair.
We
Zip
could
line.
drop in 60th floor. A lot of people expect you to go up. We go down.
We don't need to get down through into the server, which on the 59th floor is suddenly that would be time consuming, so we need to be careful and hold some time before then.
What if we take the infiltration route? How well do you think you can take down someone from this corporation and steal their identity temporarily? Furthermore, 3 people for each of us.
I can probably get access cards, but I don't know about taking anybody out. I'm a reporter, not a fighter.
You could always be both. Who knows? Life's dangerous. So,
I can defend myself, sure. I'll see what I can do.
should we take our business to one of your places?
I'd rather this doesn't get traced back to me, but I know a spot. I'll lead them along out and towards a slightly less expensive bar, a frequent hangout.
Cool. Yeah. You decide to kind of walk through the street. It is about, you reckon, some of you look at your panel monitors if you have them, and you do notice that it is 2:30 in the morning. So, but you wouldn't tell without looking at a watch, because Night City doesn't sleep. And yeah, you walk out into this red haze just surrounding you. You have nasal filters, I believe, as a cyberware. The other 2 kind of cover your mouth, so you can hold your mouth and noses with gas mask or something of the like to kind of protect you from this sand that is still kind of running over. But Bishop seems unfazed by it. And you walk out of Chinatown and you go into kind of the more eastern area of Night City, which is now in here just populated by skyscrapers as far as the eye can see. They actually they disappear into this red kind of fog that you are in. You see, as you're walking, cars passing by being chased or chasing. There are a couple of trauma teams, the big kind of med team in Night City that has got kind of like flying the big SUVs getting through. You see people getting beat up, you see people getting shot. It's just another day. Eventually, you will arrive at the Zitar, a fairly cheap bar, not as impressive as the Vampire, that's for sure. And yeah, as soon as you walk in, Quentin, the barman, Carl, just kind of looks at you and says, "Hey Quentin, you're here late. Have you been doing something you shouldn't?"
I am on the job. New employer. Wanted to talk before big report goes down.
Right, say no more. Same room as always. And he kind of points you towards a small, it's not really a room, like a cubicle, but it's best as you can find here at the Citadel.
Thank you. Any drinks while we're here?
Is there a special?
There's always a special.
I'll take the special.
Very well. A dead lover coming along. Anything else?
I wouldn't like to drink on the job. I think that
Fair
would be
enough.
wise. Thank you anyway.
Shot of whiskey for me.
Very well. It goes along, and he goes for a while, so you guys have a couple of minutes to kind of talk a little bit more.
Where do you plan to acquire zip line?
I thought that would be your kind of forte.
I could potentially rig something similar. Yeah.
Well, again, we might not need it. Be a quick route out rather than in. If we're up on the top floor and there are people coming after us. As for IDs, I know a few people I can talk to. What about you guys?
Not many people I could talk to.
Do you think in his career of serving people who've been injured, as he came across a few ID cards just left around?
Roll me roll me just a straight up cool check. So using your cool stat.
Is that just the base?
Yeah.
One there. Okay. That's 8.
8. You certainly know a couple of fixers that could perhaps get the job done, but you would be looking at paying them to get the ID cards done, which means you're kind of splitting your gains here. But certainly doable. There are enough fixers in that work kind of bringing their clients to you to get them fixed, that you could get some favors called in, basically. You might be able to actually get some stuff fairly cheap and discounted.
Okay. I think I know a couple of people who could help.
One last thing with the IDs, we're going to need to change the pictures. I do know a guy for that. Press pass is hard to come by.
Well, that's
So once we got the cards, meet back here. Say a couple days.
I will prepare sort of a grapple zip line sorts,
Perfect.
which I can just split out that way.
Sure. Yeah, that seems good. I'll shoot you a message when I'm ready.
Right. You're going to where?
After some sort of place that would get me a fake ID to Arasaka Court. I don't want to go for press passes on this one.
You specifically don't want to go through the media kind of channels.
I'll probably have a press pass on me just in case, but I'm gonna want a Arasaka specifically.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. In that case, roll me a streetwise check.
Which is
Uses cool, but I don't know if you have any base on it. Kind of right hand end. It is a social skill.
streetwise. Single D10 plus. That is 8 total.
Sorry?
8 total.
8 total. You go around and you have a couple of chats, but how open are you about what you need, right? Like opening conversation, how kind of
Definitely trying to keep it on the down low.
cool. Okay, yeah. So you kind of try to get a feel for if there's anyone that might be able to do it. There are a couple of people that look at you. This sounds interesting, but also sounds dangerous. And people aren't very open to the idea of delving into something without any more information, essentially, or committing to something without more information. You do, however, you grab the attention just as you're about to give up. You grab the attention of this individual that kind of taps you on the shoulder. A female-looking individual, kind of dark skin, hair in a mohawk, with two appear to be like those neon strings, just kind of engraved in her head. They just come down to a V at the back, wearing this kind of transparent coat, with a bluish top. But the coat itself, all the rims of it are just illuminated by this same line. She says, "I'm sorry. Did I? What are you looking for?"
Access to the Arasaka core.
Huh. Arasaka core. And how much are you willing to pay for this type of access?
I could throw 150 on the table.
Ooh, a persuasion check.
That will be a 20 total.
Did you roll a 10 on the dice?
8 plus 12.
Nice. 20 total, yeah. She looks at you, 150, okay. When do you need it for?
As soon as possible.
How many?
3.
Well, I believe we might be in business. Name's Slide. Where am I sending this to?
What was the name of the bar?
That'll be Zeta.
There. Barman, Carl. He'll keep them for me.
And you are?
Red Specs.
Of course, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Great. Red Specs. See you then. She kind of turns around. And just as she's turning around, you see one of the half of the light just turns blue, and she starts looking to herself. Yeah. She turns around. Bishop, what are you up to?
He's gonna try and get some. Can you get some? Try and get some information on the 59th floor of this tower.
Yeah. For that, I would say roll me a conversation check. It's on the social skills on the right hand corner as well. See if you can gather some intel just by chatting up.
Social. Which side is that?
Sorry?
Oh, which side is that?
That's on the right hand side, kind of like the fourth one down.
Oh, yeah, there it is. That is a 16.
Yeah, sorry guys. Cyberpunk Red has got a lot of skills. So, that was a 16, you say?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You ask around and you try to kind of gather some information here and there, trying to see if people know a little bit about 59th floor. You actually find out a like drunk group at one point of you figure by the end that they are ex-Arasaka employees. Like 59th floor of the northeastern. Well, you can access it by elevator, but you need ID cards to get in, and you can. Oh yeah, Terry, wasn't there the big turrets at the top? And then Terry just goes, oh yeah, I think wasn't there Michael one day that just forgot to put the pin in and just got, well, obliterated? And then just go, oh yeah, that was it. So you start kind of like gathering the idea that the door to the 59th floor might be very well protected.
I see.
But you do have that information, which is good. Hi. What are you up to?
I would like to try and create this sort of wrap line to get to the top kind of ceiling, which can act like a zip line for us to get across.
Great. So do you go to your studio?
I go to my kind of workshop, yes.
Your workshop, yeah. What does that look like?
It's this kind of room, and it's full of metal. And a lot of it isn't parts. It's just scrap metal. There's like a big kind of metallic arm in the center, where it's just holding a tire. It's a ton of junk, and just a table clustered with the blueprints and everything.
Yeah.
And there's just like spilt drinks everywhere underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not well cared for.
Nice, yeah. It's like the kind of thing of like your bed is just a place where you move the blueprints to when you're not.
I just go, no, that's what a tire is for. You just get into the tire.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you just like slump on the tire. Great. First off, roll me a tech check.
Just straight tech one.
Straight tech one.
16.
16. You start kind of playing around with some of the stuff that you have available to you at the moment, but you kind of guess that you're missing something. You're not quite sure what, but you're missing maybe like an element to actually kind of shoot the zip line as high as you need it. So you might need to get a kind of some sort of gas that makes like a reaction to shoot the zip line as just fast as you want to go. Apart from that, it seems to you definitely have the blueprint ready.
I would like to try and I have like this. I would assume a person who kind of I ask for parts. I'd like to see if they have any sort of a gas kind of which I can use to start a reaction.
Nice.
In a chamber.
Yeah. You kind of this is happening over several days, but there's one of the days that you go to one of your suppliers, and it's this kind of tall, very skinny man, probably in his 50s, maybe older. They're just curved. They were probably about 6'5", but with like the fact that their shoulders and their neck has just dropped so much, they are about 6'2" now. So they're kind of like completely like arched over, hair completely shaved, a big kind of full beard that is bright green, like neon green, and one of the eyes has got this like massive scar that goes down it. And he says, "You know this individual to be named Reaper."
Reaper.
Yeah. And he just sees you walking into the workshop and says, "Oh hey,
Hello, Vipar.
I was wondering when I was going to see you again. What have we got here? What are we looking for?"
I need a gas of sorts to start a reaction in the chamber to fire something off.
I guess. Are you playing with old tech again? We haven't used the gases to do that type of thing since the 20s, really.
You know how I like to mess around with different parts.
Or a persuasion check.
8.
8. Kind of looks at you, gives you a strange eye, and then, yeah, well, I never got your interest in this old kind of junk, but I guess it will do. And kind of just goes over this various materials, kind of grabs a box, this kind of wooden box, and you pretty sure, maybe you've never seen one, but might actually be real wood and not like synthetic stuff. It's like, yeah, the real thing. And just brings it over, pops it on the table. How about this? Now slides it over.
Can I try to lift kind of the lid off?
Yeah, the lid comes off nicely and kind of folds. And you see these kind of 4 vials, but like standing up. This, you can't see inside, but the casing is all green. And you read that, kind of read the components, and you can assume that's what you need.
This seems in order. I will happily take this. How much will it cost me this time?
Well, it's not particularly expensive. No one else wants it, so how about we call it 25 euro bucks, and you're good.
Yes, fine. I hand over.
Yeah, you hand over the small kind of pad that has the euro bucks on. He registers, takes it, and then passes it back to you.
I take the entire crate. Like, I don't know what this is. It feels different.
Mm. Yeah, there's like all sorts of like textures as you pass your hand, which is really bizarre. You're used to just being like completely smooth, and then having like the design of the texture, but this actually has some grip to it, and it's really, really strange.
Who knows what this could be used for? I don't know. I'd like to bring it back to the workshop to apply the gas to the part.
Roll me a what is it called? It used to be called Jerry Rig, but no longer is that. My text. Roll me a Maker, which is your special ability. So you just add your special ability bonus, which should be 4.
Yeah. 13.
13. Nice. Yeah, with the gas, super easy to achieve now. You kind of build the outer structure, and you just slot the gas container in, and you pick it up. Feels heavy-ish. Perhaps someone a little bit stronger than you might be able to use it more effectively. But you kind of point it at the other side of your studio and just shoot it, and immediately the zipline just goes, and then poof. And as you kind of pull the back of it, the zipline just pulls back and just goes completely flat and tense.
This seems in order. I'd like to also analyze any other properties the gas has. Like, is it flammable, or does it have any other textures of it?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a. This would be a. This is probably just a education roll.
Oh, that's a 1.
What's the total?
14.
Okay. Yeah, with a 14. It's at first it's like you're like, oh well, this just serves
I'm
to
still hang up on the wood.
yeah, and this obviously the only function for this is for my zip line, and then you actually start thinking about it. And it's like, oh, hang on, there's actually other stuff that could be done. You get the feeling that if you were to find a way of using the same kind of, it's not a combustion engine, but the same kind of force of the gas leaving the canister as you are using it with your essentially grappling gun, that you would be able to kind of maybe like burn or scar part of a face if you shot at a face, or like an arm or something, could be fairly useful in an emergency, if nothing else.
I'd just like to attach it to my kind of the bottom of my shotgun, just so I have it on hand.
Nice, absolutely. Cool. Right, so a couple of days pass, and you guys eventually find the various things that you were trying to find out and you were trying to achieve. 3 IDs come over to the Zitha. They look... Roll me a forgery check.
Which one is that? Oh, there it is. 9.
9. They look fairly well made. You've had your fair few encounters with something like that, and these look fairly high quality. They're not the best thing in the world, but they will probably pass. Definitely pass, maybe pass. Probably.
It's the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
How did you guys get on?
Well, rather well. I would just like to pull the kind of whole grapple gun out and just put it on the table. It
Yeah.
works marvelous, and it came with a wonderful box.
A wonderful box.
It's made of something I've never seen before.
I'm just gonna note down new material discovered as a possible side story.
What about you, Bishop?
Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Do go on.
Well, I found some drunken, probably ex-Saka employees, and I gleaned some information from them. You can access this floor by elevator, but I think you've got that covered. This floor, it's very, very heavily guarded. There's very big turrets stationed God knows where. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch out for them.
Well, that adds to chance of death. We'll keep a list of that.
I'll be fine. We'll do fine.
Be fine.
How difficult do you think it would be to disable said turrets?
Knowing the corporation, probably it's well designed, so I may be able to, if I can get close to it, to disable it.
Do you think, while he was speaking to them, they would have said like the name of these turrets, or they just said big, scary turrets?
As in like the model of the turrets?
Yeah.
They wouldn't know what it is. They just know they're big turrets that
Kill people.
essentially, obliterated their friend. That's all they know.
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. One of their co-workers walked chance of one and died. Because, I mean, that's what turrets do best. They kill people. So, you know,
You feel
it's
like they
very
don't
heavy.
care more about their employees.
Well, whatever we're going after, probably worth protecting from anyone, especially the people that work there. Which means, with these IDs, we've got to be extra careful.
Yes.
And I'll hand you both your ID.
What's this?
What names are on the ID?
Random name generator names. Read your own and make sure you remember it.
Thank you.
And in preparation, I'm hiding these.
Completely different.
Oh, you're a different person. Brilliant. At this point, I would like all of you to roll a perception check.
I rolled another 1.
I also rolled a 1. And that's
18.
11.
10.
10, 11, 18. Quentin, you're having this conversation. Your life of having a target on your back has kind of taught you to always keep an eye towards that target. As you're talking, as you're passing the IDs, you notice 2 individuals that are just sitting on the other side of the Zatar. And you see kind of wearing this heavy leather. And you just notice that one of them kind of gets a shoulder bump, which means that the jacket that they're wearing kind of goes back. And you definitely catch a glimpse of way too heavy weaponry for someone who's just out for a casual drink. And they seem to be paying very close attention to the 3 of you.
Weapons ready, and I'm gonna call Carl over.
Okay. Yeah, Carl just kind of comes over, says, "Yep."
Just kind of stand in the doorway and block as much of the view as possible. We're gonna take the back exit.
All right.
People, other side, big weapons. Don't like them. Big
Well,
eyes.
just turns immediately around.
I stand up and just look over.
No, we're going now.
Now?
Now.
Cool. All of you roll me stealth check, really quickly.
18.
Nice.
9.
Was that another 1?
Oh,
Where is stealth?
Right, like near the top.
body skills
Body skill.
bottom.
Oh yeah. Perfect. 11.
Nice. You get up. Bishop kind of doesn't get the message quite as quickly as you. You both get up and start walking, and Bishop's like, "Oh yeah," just gets up and moves afterwards. But Carl starts kind of blocking door and sending waiters kind of through the door, which causes enough of a distraction, and you guys kind of move through the crowd, and that causes enough of a momentarily kind of distraction towards the other guys that they lose track of you, and you exit the back door of the Zatar, and you're like, okay, where are you going?
I think too much pressure. We should just get on with it now.
Get on with it now.
We've got as much of a plan as we could possibly have in the time we have to set this up.
Yeah, what's their use in stalling?
Alright, let's do it.
But first, let's get out of here very quickly.
Yes, this place is bad.
We're gonna circle a few blocks just to make sure we're not followed, and then head straight for the corp.
Okay. In that case, I would like you to roll me a. Yeah, roll me a tactics check. Right above fighting skills.
I'd like to try and see if there is anyone following us.
Have a perception check.
12.
15.
15. You circle a few blocks, and with the help of Vio, who's kind of looking back and keeping track of anyone that might be paying close attention to the three of you, after about 10-15 minutes, you're pretty certain that no one is following you.
Ready?
Before we do, these cards that Quinton received, are they the ones with our faces on as well, or is that not included in the thing?
They wouldn't have Face ID, no.
Okay.
You would know that they would have kind of biometric ID, so like a chip with all the intel, but no photo.
Okay.
Because Slide didn't have access to your pictures. So yeah.
We
Don't want that.
didn't also
That's a
tell her
trace.
who the other two people were. Sorry.
Nope.
Cool. Head to the building.
Head towards the corp. Nice. Are you walking? Sure. You start walking, and it takes you. You're essentially almost traversing the entire city from one side to the other. There is at one point some rain that comes down, and it's weird. It's kind of like when it touches your skin, kind of there's this weird. It's not acid, but it certainly feels a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, and you kind of just cover yourselves up a little bit more. You see people now taking out these umbrellas made out of transparent material, with the kind of stick of the umbrella just being a fluorescent light. You kind of just see these almost dancing lights passing by in the street. There is a variety of individuals walking here. Some of them, you even pass by a portion of Night City where the vast majority of people are, well, they are called cyborgs. They're the individuals that have left most of the meat body behind and are now essentially just a brain, an organic brain inside a fully metal body. And that allows them to create whatever they want with the casing. So you see some people that are essentially have the shape of an old that you've heard of in tales, like Greek statues made out of marble, whatever that is. And other people just have a full-on like reptilian appearances. You see a bipedal kind of chameleon walking around. This is the weird side of Night City that most people that aren't cyborgs avoid. But because you're trying to stay on the down low, you just kind of bite your tongue and decide to go in there. It's great. There's a lot of tech going on here. You are just, yeah.
Some of the designs could be improved. You know, it's fine. Everyone's cool.
Yeah. And Bishop, you can only think of the pain that process must have been like, to transfer a whole brain into a fully metallic body. Most people wouldn't even know. You've heard screams before, but you imagine that is probably almost insufferable. But yeah, you walk past the cyborg location of Night City, and eventually you arrive at what is essentially the heart of the megacorps. In here, the buildings are monumental. They're not just tall, they are wide. We're talking about entire multi-blocks taken out by a single building, to the point where streets in times that have gone were just run over so that the building could expand. And essentially you ended up with these kind of pyramid-like structures that just disappear into the sky once again, and just filled with lights and lights and lights and lights and lights that go up. It is also the richest part of Night City. It is almost like you get the feeling that it becomes a little bit less red as you walk in here. Like there is some sort of gigantic kind of air purifier or filter or something. Or maybe it's just appearances. Most of the life in Night City is all about appearances than actual function. So hard to tell. But you see your target. Big Arasaka building. And you, my friends, decide to go in?
I would like to see what's the closest building towards it.
To the Arasaka building?
Yes.
That would be a kind of warehouse, but still enormous. You gather that from this place, the warehouses are placed between the big corporation buildings, just so they're not like next to each other, because that would cause problems eventually. But yeah, you see this big warehouse that still has the Arasaka symbol on it, so it belongs to the same corp.
I could try grapple from here, but I don't know if I have the length. Or we just do in stages and we get onto the warehouse first, so that way we can get to the top easier.
Do we want to throw the grappling hook straight away though? That is still a good way out, and as long as we don't get caught on the way in.
Okay, fair.
How high is the building? Would it... the warehouse?
The warehouse?
Yeah, how many floors, the average?
Roll a perception check.
16.
It still sort of disappears into the high skyscraper fog. However, because the air here is slightly cleaner, you can see the building goes up for at least 50 floors. At the very least.
Okay. I would say there's definitely a better escape route. You think you could reach, the grappling hook could reach down that far?
How far do I think the grappling hook could?
Roll me an intelligence check. Or tech, I will allow either. Was that
9.
1 again?
Yeah. It's a 9 in total.
The dice don't like to be rolled at 7 in the morning.
No. Below 2.
Time.
Below 2 is the only good number.
Sorry, that was the total of?
9.
9. And you rolled a tech or an intelligence?
Tech.
Tech. You are pretty confident that the grappling hook could reach that far. If not, then you're probably looking at going down 2 floors or so. But you are pretty proud
I'm perfectly confident in this.
You built it. Of course it's perfect.
Yes. It will work without a hitch. Don't worry about your bones breaking.
Confidence is key.
Let's hope that's true.
I say we just go through the front door.
Yeah, why not?
Straight to the elevator.
Yep.
Get up as far as we can.
There's no time like the present.
Alright. So, you guys go through the front door. Immediately, as you approach two sliding doors, and you hear this kind of soft jazz music as you walk into the foyer, illuminated by this sickly yellow light, where everything it is made so that everything seems like it's made out of gold, but you can just tell that it is not. But you see a big kind of foyer reception standing to the left corner, and then the room itself that goes wide then converges into a large corridor where you see elevators on both sides. Yeah, as soon as you enter, there is a individual working on the lap or on the computer, and then tilts its head almost in a robotic way. Welcome to Arasaka Corporation. How can I help?
How many times a day do you have to do that?
I don't understand the question.
Just show him the card. He'd sign in.
Welcome. Please head on to the elevators.
Thank you. Go to the elevators.
All right. You take an elevator, which opens up, and you see that it is fairly small. You can understand why now, looking up, there are access to 8 elevators on this floor, because they appear to be a tight squeeze for 4 people. 3 of you kind of fine. None of you are particularly kind of brawny and tall and huge.
While we're in the elevator, I'm going to make a note saying corpse have no taste, because that lobby was horrible.
It's such a gaudy feel. It's so yellow.
There is, however, no 59th floor button.
How
Is there
close can we
58?
get?
There is a 58th.
Is there a 60?
There is a 60.
Which one?
Whoever made these buttons is an idiot.
Oh, I think that's probably on purpose.
No, it's probably by accident. Who knows?
There's this one here with a bell on it. Do you think that one's the 59th floor?
This big red one looks different. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Much no. So, yeah, top or bottom, 58 or 60?
I think 58 would be the best bet.
If we go 58, we can scope out the bottom, and then if we would go to the top 59th, and if we get what we need, we could go to 60th, or go out a window if we choose to use a grapple to get out, unless we're trying to stealthily escape.
If we can walk out the same way we walked in, that's ace. If we can't, grappling hook is definitely the way I want to go.
I didn't build this for nothing. I'm going to use it at
Perfect.
some point.
58's for it is.
Cool. You press the 58th floor button, the elevator very seamlessly just starts making its way up. Takes a while. It's 58 floors. So you're just there listening to horrible jazz music from a century or more prior. And you're just there like twiddling your thumbs for a little bit. Do you have your camera with you?
Probably a smaller one than my usual one, yes.
Just making sure. Eventually you arrive 58th floor. The doors open. And what you see is just a whole load of cubicles repeated all after each other. The cubicles themselves are made of this kind of, again, brownish orange material. There appears to be styrofoam, something like that, but without touching it, it's hard to tell. But you just kind of see rows and rows of people working on computers, paint no attention to whoever just came out of the elevator. People come and go any given day of the week, so it doesn't really matter who it is.
Either are you too good with computers?
Yes. I'm fairly good rated. By
Can
fairly, I mean amazingly.
Can I look for some sort of water machine, coffee machine, whatever it would be, like a break table sort of thing to the side, and go and hang out over there and look for an empty cubicle?
Okay. You find tall, about like 5'7" creation that is just hovering around between the cubicles. Imagine a Dalek, essentially, just hovering around with a little shelf that just has various cups and various liquids. It's just...
I will follow that around for a bit. And I'll take a cup just to make it believable.
Nice. Roll a perception check.
That is a 10 for 24.
Roll again. If you roll a 10, you roll the next roll.
24 plus 5 is a 29.
29. Nice. Almost immediately after you take the first corner, you notice that there is a computer that is empty, and whose, because you've rolled critical success, the computer is unlocked.
I'd like to awkwardly walk over. Like,
Just on both sides of the room.
I stayed by the elevator. I just watched them go on. I awkwardly go by. I'm like, oh, look at all these people, and just like, this is sad.
Cool. Yeah, the computer as well. Like, it's got the black screen, but every single bit of lettering is in this sick orange color. Yeah, there's a theme here.
Bright neon colour.
So, yeah, just get logged on. You know, it's your first day. Have a look at what you're working with, and give me a shout if you need any help with anything.
I'd like to see if I can change the colour of the text.
Okay. In that case, roll me. That'll be a basic tech check.
13.
13. Yeah, it takes you a little while to fiddle with the settings, but eventually you make it look. You bring it down a couple of hues, and it's now this kind of between yellow and green kind of color.
I was just there, like, don't worry, I'm getting to it, and it's like, done, I've changed the colour, now to start the actual work.
Important things first, right?
What did you want me to do again?
Well, you know, just take a look around, see what you're working with. I'm trying to hint at looking for any information we can get without giving it away to anyone that might be listening.
Yeah.
I would like to see if there's any information on the ghost drive, and kind of looking on how protected.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard check, but it is a electronics slash security tech.
Is there a possibility I could help?
How?
Pointing stuff out like a backseat driver?
That's supposed to help?
Can I use luck?
You can use luck to...
I'd like to add 3 to it.
Cool. Mark off 3 luck out of your total pool. And what does that result bring?
26.
Nice. Yeah, it once again, you try to, like, you have to dig fairly deep. You're not a net runner, but you know your way around security well enough. You just can't do it at a distance. You need to be kind of working with the hardware to do
The
so.
good old-fashioned way.
Yeah. But eventually you don't find information on the ghost drive, but you do find that it is there somewhere, and it exists.
I have good news. It's on the 59th floor. Somewhere. In a room.
Any information about the 59th floor?
I'd like to just search then, 59th floor.
With the 26, sure. You find out that the turrets themselves are military grade, and they will activate you. They activate 6 seconds after the required passcode is failed.
The turrets will activate if the passcode fails. You would have 6 seconds to get into a hiding position from the turret, so you're not instantly killed.
Yeah, you get the impression that the 6 seconds are a fail-safe in case that you just get the password wrong the first time.
Is there anything that hints at what the password could be? Just like try to decipher.
You know it's a biometric, so it's not a physical password. It's you need to have the right credentials essentially.
I'd also like to see if there's a weakness to the turrets at all.
Yeah, tell you what. Roll me a tech check. Sorry, gunsmith check. Which should be.
There's weapons stack.
Weapon stack is what I meant. Playing with the old system still.
21.
21. Yeah. You, like most tech, well-placed EMP or something that would fry the circuit could very well work and deactivate the turret.
I'd like to use, say, one of my tool hand fingers. It's like something I can just download data, and I'd like to just take some of the data from here.
Absolutely, it's like a small kind of like flash drive.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So.
Yeah, you absolutely can download that.
So, an EMP.
Yes.
Do you have anything like that?
Not on me, but
Could
I
you make one with what you've got?
I'd like to start taking apart the computer.
Okay, yeah, you can try and jerry-rig something together that will be kind of a one-use thing.
I know it's not going to be like Exceptions one, it'll be like a small amount of time you'll be given.
Definitely.
Before he does that, could I hand him my medtech bag to see if there's anything in there he could possibly use for something?
Sure. Roll me your... You have 4. Roll me a maker check and add a 4 to it.
On top of my 4.
So it's a plus 8 essentially.
10.
10. In a rush, it's kind of the best you can do. You are in hostile territory, trying to create something that is going to fry systems out, and so kind of even with these two looking around and with Bishop passing you their bag, you're kind of like under pressure. You feel sweat coming down your temples. Your tool hand is kind of playing up a little bit. You're just kind of like under pressure, but you jerry-rig something together that might set off a quick EMP charge that might deactivate. There's a lot of mites there.
If not, I would have gone to the water, but going around and just took it to the. No one needs
a little drone. Yeah.
I would have tried to put all the cups down, just gone take that. But this may work. May just take that. I'll hand it to Quinton. You just push the button.
Yeah, it is essentially.
And then
Yeah, it
you
is
throw it.
essentially a long tube with just copper coils round and round and round and round and round, and a big. What's the color of the button?
It's white in because I don't want to make it a bright yellow.
Yeah. Cool.
I will store that away,
Sure.
hopefully.
Okay, now we need to, I guess, head up. Oh, does anyone have a pen and a sign? I want to just write out of order on this cubicle. And I use a bit of duct tape just to stick it there. It's like, this looks professional. In my mind. It's not in actuality, I'm just saying, it's just in my head, it looks great.
Great. Yeah. Great job. It is absolutely. Yeah. Perfect.
Nothing suspicious happened.
Absolutely nothing. Just a computer completely taken apart. It's fine.
Can
It's fine.
I put the cup on the desk and sort of tip it over slightly so it looks like water was spilled on it?
And
Sure.
so it's taken apart.
Sure. Yeah.
The screen's not there, anything on the inside. It's just the keyboard and the frame. That's it. That's all that remains, everything on the inside.
It's just gone. Everything's just gone.
Yeah, I didn't need the plastics.
Yeah, I didn't need the plastics. Yeah.
Is there a staircase or anything like to know?
You guys start walking around. You rolled a 26, so I'll give that to you. The staircase is hidden behind a wall that you now know where it is because of your stupid high roll earlier. But it is a kind of a one of those walls that you press on and then it kind of moves in and then slides up. And you see what appears to be in design a sort of fire exit, but is inside of the building. And yeah, and eventually you start making your way up.
I will be keeping an ear out for anyone else around this.
Perception check, please.
Oh, nice. 22.
22. Cool. You guys make your way up. I am going to need a marching order, please.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go second.
Okay. Yeah, it's Bishop will go third, I guess.
You can run away the easiest, that's your
Yeah, back down through the elevator. Cool. It makes sense that you go first because you did the perception check. You don't hear anyone coming, and you don't hear anyone above you. But eventually you arrive at a door that is there. It's not like hidden like this one that you just gained access to was. And as you enter, you see a corridor that could have been from a completely different building. It is lit up in this very kind of bright white light. Wow. That is just panels upon panels upon panels upon panels. And instead of being like singular light, it's just a big square panel that just lights up down. And you look towards one side, which is the wall right next to you, and you look towards another, and you just see, kind of like, as you look, you still see the panels being lit up individually, and you see at the end a big metallic door with a kind of reader to the side. Because of your 22 as well, you notice just at the top in the corners 2 metallic doors.
Right, so how does this thing work? We have to get close, or...
You will need to press a button. You need to then throw it. It will take 3 seconds or so to get ready. You need to get close enough, yes. And it's going to be a limited time frame.
So What I'm assuming the turrets are behind walls. They got shutters on them. Do we need to get them out first, or?
It would help if they were out.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Well then, if you got it right first try, you wouldn't need EMP. Then it would be useless. It's like a backup one in case you fail.
Tell you what, you guys stay here. I'm gonna go. If I get shot dead, don't know what you guys are doing, but I can't help you at that point. And I'm going to wander up to the door, scan my card in the thing, and
Are we just
hopefully
leaving if he dies?
hopefully it fails.
Brilliant. Hoping it fails. Is that-
Yes, and as soon as I hear the shutters open, it's press.
Cool.
I did
Okay.
say takes like 3 seconds to...
And it's 6 seconds on the.
Let's hope your math is right.
And
What's
it may
maths?
work!
Right. So, Quentin, you approach slowly down this corridor. All of you here, with each step, just a toom, 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 like the steps echo as he's walking down. You reach the door. Kind of look up to the turret door. Just silent and quiet. Take up your card. Nothing happens. Immediately, the lights on the ceiling turn red. Bam, 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 bam. You start hearing mechanisms. You click the button.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
I am going to. What's the doorway look like?
The doorway looks made out of solid metal, but it appears it looks like it opens inward.
Can I press myself up against the door?
Sure. Okay.
I'm not expecting to be protected, but I'm doing my best.
Great. You hear mechanism moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. Roll me a d10. Just
Can I add luck?
just straight up. No, because this is a 50-50 thing.
Is this if DMP works?
Let's find out.
6.
6. Cool. You, as soon as you hear the alarm, you count in your head, click the button, place it down, press yourself against the door. You hear the mechanisms of the turrets. What are you two doing?
I'm going to sprint for the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just
if he dies, he has my EMP! I'm just going to sprint.
I am before the person.
I need to improve.
The torrents come out. Immediately look down towards you, Quentin. I need you to roll me 5d6s, please.
5d6s.
Yep.
1, 3, 1, 4, and 2.
1, 3, 1, 4. So that's 5, 4, 9, and
2.
2. So 11. Great. What cyberware are you wearing?
I only have the amplified hearing. And a tattoo, but I don't think that counts.
Technically still, yeah. There is a piercing noise coming through your ears as this EMP just like shoots out, and you just feel kind of one ear you don't hear anything, like it's gone. The one where you actually have the cybernetic on, you can't feel anything. You feel also your camera probably gone with the EMP as well, but you kind of feel that like on the other ear is just a weird kind of energy just passes through you. I also need you guys to roll me a straight intelligence check. You can do that with +5. Did you roll another one? Throw that dice away. Bishop, what did you get?
Well, that's a 17.
17 total. You're fine. What was your total?
12.
12. What cybernetics are you wearing?
I've got my tool hand, my micro-optics in my left eye. And they say skin watch, but I don't know what.
Yeah, that's fine. So, you are fine. You kind of like approach, but you stand back just at the last second, and the EMP doesn't quite reach you with enough force to mess up your cybernetics. You currently can't see out of one eye, and your hand. Which one is the
It's my right hand.
Your right hand just goes limp. Like you raise your arm and your hand is just there, hanging down. Your cyberware is currently deactivated. The good news is the deterrents that were about to start shooting at you are now hanging down. The other bad news is there is a big alarm sounding in this corridor. What is everyone doing?
Is the door open?
The door is not open.
How tough does the door look?
Do you want to try and push?
No, but just on first look, how?
Roll me a basic tech check. This will have a -3 because you're trying to do this under pressure.
10.
10.
I'd also like to mouth to him, "You're welcome."
Nice. Just like pushing him aside and just.
It's
Yeah.
like when I just sprint, I was like, "You're welcome," and then I realised my hands were
Yeah. So you approach the door and you look at the door and it looks pretty solid, but maybe a couple of good thugs will just pry it open because the save lock mechanism on it as well has been fried. You can assume.
How do you think shooting it will work?
What's in that little mechanism of yours? Is there anything that could help with that?
In my hand? Or-
No, in the zip line.
I'd like to take out of my shotgun with the tube and just put it against the door and just fire the grappling hook. No, use the shotgun to shoot it to see if that has an effect.
Wait, stand
I
back
am going
first.
to be moving away before that happens.
I've moved a bit further back.
You're shooting the actual shotgun shot.
Yes.
Roll me your. You're gonna hit because point blank with the shotgun. Roll me your shotgun damage. Which I believe is 5d6.
Yeah, I've stepped a bit back, but
Yeah,
this
that's
is
fine.
still.
It's still considered point blank for sure.
Yeah. That's 12. 13.
13 damage. Also roll me shoulder arms. Sorry, just to make sure that you can actually take. It's on the top right corner. To make sure you can actually take the shot and you prepare it correctly.
13.
13 with 13 damage.
Yeah.
Right. So you kind of shove Quentin aside, who's currently like holding onto his head, and you just put your shotgun on your shoulder, shoot it, and you just see half of the door just kind of completely opens wide right at the bottom, enough for any of you to really kind of squeeze through.
I'm going inside straight away.
Okay, cool.
I'm inside.
Nice. You get in and you kind of like make your way inside, and you see just corridors and corridors of cables with big kind of massive towers where it's just input and input and input and input and input. You would have an idea of where you need to go because of your stupid high check. So you just bolted towards it.
When we entered, I was using my right hand, like,
Just
at
move it.
Bishop, like.
Are there any windows in this room?
Yeah. There are windows on one side of the building.
Is it the
Could have gone
warehouse?
for a win.
You could have gone for a window.
Is it the warehouse side?
Sorry?
Is it the warehouse side of
Yes,
the
it is the warehouse side.
building? We have a way out, just like we planned.
I need everyone to roll a perception check.
How am I rolling this? Because my ear is shot.
Good point. You can roll that with a -5.
And my eyes.
This is more of a sound thing, so you're
Okay.
fine. But yeah, you take a -5, Quentin, to roll.
12.
12,
That's 19.
19. Very good.
16.
16. You're distracted trying to find the place that you need to go to actually download this thing. The two of you, you can just about make it through the sound that there are, you very clearly, Bishop, there are people coming up the stairs. You can't identify how many. With a 19, you can probably define 3 different sets of footsteps making their way up. Do you want to try and set the door back down?
More as a protection than
Okay,
making
cool.
it look closed.
Yeah, okay, so I'll say that you can kind of try to push the door into, but it's been blasted by a shotgun, so it's not
There's
going
like
to
burn
go in.
marks probably outsides.
Yeah, there's like shell in.
If we were trying to hide it, we wouldn't be doing a good job. It just like squeaks apart. You know, it's like when a door just goes back and forth, and it's just, but it's in one side's entirely black.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So you guys are trying to like keep it together. Bishop, what are you doing? Sorry.
What does this room look like? Is there any places to take cover?
Yeah, there are the big kind of server towers. If you kind of can identify what I'm saying, is that they're about 7 or 8 foot tall, and they are just lined up, and it's just there's about 3 rows on each side and a corridor down the middle, and obviously corridors between them, but the big corridor is down the center. So there is it's very like they are also about so they'll be about 6-7 foot long. So there is enough for a cover that you can take.
Yeah, he's gonna dive for like the
Cool.
middle one and hug the wall around there, trying not to be seen.
Nice. Okay, roll me a stealth check.
I am still trying to find where the ghost driver could be.
I will be taking cover nearby to Taki.
Nice.
Oh, I'm gonna get killed if
Oh,
I
that's a
listen to this.
13.
Sorry.
That's a 13.
13. Yeah, you kind of put yourself between the shelves, and you are just ready to try and make yourself not seen.
Could I quickly go to the toilet, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Get a couple
Absolutely.
seconds.
And so what was I saying? Then the two of you, you're trying to still find this
Yep.
access point. Roll me a. Roll me a tech check. It's kind of like trying to identify what you've seen with what you're about to look at. Did you?
9.
You are a bit discombobulated. Your hand is not working, but you're trying to find the access point.
Where's my poor eye?
Your eye, you're also only seeing out of one eye. It's a very disconcerting situation. And you can now start to hear people coming down the corridor.
How long do I think it would take for my hand and eye to get better?
You could try and repair it if you wanted, but that's going to take a couple of seconds at least if you succeed.
I'd like to try and fix my eye.
Try to fix your eye first.
Yeah, so that way I can at least see, so I'm not impaired that way.
That is a good point. Cool. Roll me cyber tech, please, at -5 because you don't see what you're doing.
Still have luck points.
14.
14. You kind of start with one hand, try to like work it on it. You actually like put your finger like on the side of the cyber.
That's not meant to do it.
Side of the cyber eye, and you start like kind of playing around with it, and eventually your cyber eye comes back online. And you just kind of like hit the side of your head, and it's a weird moment where you see things kind of slightly different because your cyber eye is pointing away, and your organic eye is pointing somewhere else. But you just kind of shake it, and your cyber eye.
I'd like to shout out loud, I have sight again!
Nice.
You didn't beforehand? What?
No, the EMP went off. And I can't see.
Oh.
You can't hear. I can't see.
What? Huh?
At this point, I'm going to say that the 3 individuals have now fully registered what's happening, and they are shouting, and they're going to make their way towards the room. I'm going to need you all to roll some initiative, please. Initiative is rolled by rolling a d10 and adding your reflex to it. So your ref.
Guess what I rolled?
A 1?
Yeah.
14.
14. Total. 9.
11.
11. So we're going to have Bishop, Quinton.
If this was a video game, you'd have an achievement by now.
You died badly.
Or just rolling that many ones.
You missed 10 hits in a row. Wow.
What did you roll?
9.
You are number 1.
You are number 1. You've only rolled once. Thank God your computer wasn't you.
They actually rolled 10, so they're before you. Bishop, you're going to be first up. You can hear the 3 individuals kind of coming down the corridor. You're the first one to react. What would you like to do?
Can I tell how far away they are from the footsteps?
You don't have line of sight. You can try to discern it by hearing. Roll me a perception, but with a -3 on it.
That's an 8.
8. Difficult to tell. You're not really sure. Anything else you would like to do?
Is there like an insight equivalent in Cyberpunk Red?
Sorry, say that again?
Is there like an insight equivalent in Cyberpunk Red?
An insight, yeah. That will be
Human perception.
human perception, yeah.
Okay.
What are you trying to...
If they were to walk past, would they look down where he is?
Go for it, yeah. Try that.
Oh, that's a 20.
Nice. It is possible. They, by the sounds of it and by the way that they're moving, they seem to be very much focused on one particular thing, which you can imagine is whatever this room is holding. So anything else might just be a distraction that they don't pick up on. But obviously if there's someone right in front of them, they probably will know about it. Cool. Do you want to move at all? You are technically in cover at this point.
No, he's going to completely just
Brilliant.
stay where he is.
Quentin, we're up to you.
I'm gonna take cover, keeping Theo in eyesight,
Yep.
but taking cover away so they wouldn't immediately see me if they were to approach.
Got you. Yeah.
Gun out.
Nice. Would you like to Overwatch, which is like ready action with it?
Sure.
Yep. Cool. So you're ready. If any one of them comes through, you can just try to shoot it. You have a heavy or very heavy pistol?
Just a heavy pistol.
Heavy pistol. Right. That, and I'm going to assume you're behind cover as well.
Yes.
Cool. That will lead us to security operatives. The first security operative is going to come through, and you can see that they are bringing a kind of a heavier pistol than the one you're carrying, and they just kind of, one of them just kind of pushes through. Roll me a handgun check.
Which is...
That'll be a fighting skill.
Fighting skill.
Using your reflex.
Top, right?
Bottom.
Oh, ranged
bottom
weapon.
middle.
Ranged weapon skills?
Sorry?
Yeah. 18.
18. Yeah. You, as soon as you see him come through, you just kind of shoot him, and roll damage, please.
4 and 1, 5. Plus 5 is 10.
10 points. Great. You impact him in the body. The armor that he's wearing is going to take some of that damage, but you hear a grunt and you feel that some of the damage has actually gone through the armor. And they have lost. Awesome. He's going to come out, seeing you just popping out of cover. He's going to attempt to shoot you, but you are technically under cover as well. That is not going to cut it. He rolls. This is 12. He misses. You see him raise his pistol, and just in time, you kind of hide yourself behind one of these towers, and you just hear a bullet. But yeah, he is then going to move kind of to the side. The second security operative is going to come. No one is over there, so they're just going to. And the third one, they're all going to try and kind of flank. These guys know what they're doing. Vio, we're up to you.
Can I see?
Yeah, for sure.
What's kind of the positioning of the officers around us?
So from your perspective, you can see that you have Quinton and Bishop on one side. The door is down the center, and you see that one of the operatives has kind of moved in and moved to your left. The other one moved to the right, and there's yet another one who's trying to like make its way down the center, not yet acknowledging you quite.
So they're not close together.
No, they're like spread out. Yeah.
The one on the left of me, I would like to pull out the grappling hook and shoot him with it.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, and I will say that will be considered that's probably be considered a heavy weapon for this purpose. So.
10.
You roll 10?
Yes.
Roll another 10. Yeah.
6. That's 24.
24.
I rolled a 10.
That absolutely hits. You kind of
Doesn't
move
make
around.
up for the ones.
Move around. Bring your grappling hook and just shoot it out. The grappling hook goes through the individual chest. Go ahead and roll me. That would be. Let's call it.
I am humming just during this. I don't know what.
Roll 66, please.
66.
Yeah.
It's Mortal Kombat.
18 plus. That's 28.
Did you roll any doubles? Any double sixes?
Yes.
Nice.
2 double sixes.
You will have a critical damage. How much damage was that? The roll?
28.
28.
28.
I mean, harpoon through the chest, essentially.
You
know
would
what?
roll the 10 on the weapon you created.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. It doesn't really matter because they don't have enough hit points to withstand that. So they just kind of the grappling hook just goes through the chest and then kind of spreads at the back, and then you just kind of press the button to retract it, and it just kind of breaks him in half, and just like half of the body just drops in the legs, just drop down, and there's just a streak of blood coming in a line towards you.
This is for science sake and science sake alone. There's no bio intention in this.
Hear a really quiet round of applause from where I am in cover.
Yeah, that will be your attack. You still have some movement if you want to take it.
I'd like to move into more sort of cover area if it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You can hide behind one of these towers. That's absolutely fine. Cool, that's the end of your turn. Bishop, we're up to you now.
Have they passed him now?
So the one that would be on your, if you're facing upwards the room and the door is behind you, the one to your right is gone. Like you just see basically the torso move about 5 feet and then drop to the floor. There's one in the center that's about to pass on your left. There's yet another one passing like down the corridor to the side. What would you like to do? This one hasn't quite noticed you yet, but he's about to. The one that's right next to you. I think.
If he turned like just right out and came face to face with him, would he be directly in front of him?
Pretty much, yeah.
Sure. He's gonna come out and try and aim for this person's head with his shotgun.
You doing a cold shot. Nice. So that's going to be a -5 to your roll, but roll me your shoulder arms, please, to see if you hit with a shotgun.
21.
21 with a -5. Wow. Yeah.
Oh wait, -5. Oh. Yeah,
21 will be 16.
Yes.
Yeah, 16. You just turn around, kind of seeing the height of this individual, and suddenly the shotgun is right there on him. Go ahead and roll me your shotgun damage, which I believe is 5d6.
I need a high damage person.
Don't need a solo. Actually.
That's 11.
11. Cool. Any doubles on that?
Yeah, there was about 3 2s, I think.
Double sixes, sorry.
Oh, no.
Cool. 11 points of damage. That's fine. The armor that they're wearing on their head, the kind of the shotgun slug just kind of impacts, and you see just like hundreds or dozens of like slugs just kind of pierce on their head, and kind of the eye goes immediately red. That eye is not going to work anytime soon. But they kind of like turn around and they see you, and they're about to reach for their gun. Anything else you'd like to do?
He's gonna try and... Can he move around back from where he is and back into another server area for cover?
Yeah, you can try and like move around the big kind of tower and then kind of move further back. That's absolutely fine. You go down to the next kind of tower. I'm going to say the reaction. So that was 11 points of damage, yeah? Nice. Quentin, we're up to you now.
So the one that hasn't been attacked yet, I'm gonna go for that.
Okay, he will be on the other side of the room to you. Oh, yeah.
Of a gun?
Yeah, cool.
What's the range on that?
The range, let's call it, it's the 13 to 25 yards, so it's a bit far away, but you could move closer.
I'll get close, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Then go ahead and roll me your pistol. You need to beat the 50.
Yeah, 16.
16, nice. You kind of aim the shot, shoot it, it's going to impact, so roll me damage on that, please.
2 5s is 10, and a 3, 13.
13, nice. That's going to change the body. 13, you said?
Yeah.
Nice. These guys are looking messed up. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Seeing you kind of in the center, the first one, which is the one that you just shot in the head, is going to kind of blindly, as you're running away, attempt to kind of shoot you with a heavy pistol. That is a 13, which just hits. So very 46s. You're going to take 12 points of damage to your body. What's your armor on your body?
But middle.
What's your SP?
That's 11.
11. So you're actually going to take 1 point of damage to your health, and your SP on your body goes down to 10. As the majority of the shot just kind of impacts your armor, and you feel kind of a pain in your torso, but the armor might have just saved your life with armor kits. Cool. Security officer number 3 is going to go to you because you just shot him, and he's going to go with a 13 to hit. You moved away, so you're too far away for him. The shot goes wide, so you're all good. Theo, we're up to you now. Bishop, you're up next.
I'd like to move around.
Yep.
How many can I? Are they still, I don't know, in line?
They're not quite in the line from where you are now because you're further into the room, and they are kind of spread out to the side. They're not like.
So I can't see any.
No, no. You can see one of them. You can see both of them, but not enough to see them in a line for whatever you wanted to do.
I'd like to move as fast as possible, and I would like to say, ready, kind of the action when I can see one in view. I'm gonna shoot them with a grappling gun.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your heavy weapon again.
9.
9 total.
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Can have 10s all the time. This time you go for it and you press it, and the grappling hook doesn't move. It's jammed.
No!
So we go and roll the 1.
No!
What you still have? You would have moved. You still have a bit of movement left to get to cover, basically.
I will like to get to cover.
Great. Cool. You just after that happens.
I'm worn in my grappling gun.
That's going to take an action to repair.
I will definitely probably do that on my turn.
Great. Bishop, we're up to you now.
Can he kind of peek out of the cover he's in right now?
Yeah, you can peek out and you see that one of them is actually completely out of cover, just in the center. It was the one that tried to shoot you blindly. He's currently just taking care of the side of his face that's completely covered in shotgun shell.
That's a great shot if you did it blind. He hit him,
So yeah.
He'll go for another shot with a shotgun.
Cool. He's quite far away now, but it's still definitely doable. Go ahead and roll me a shoulder arms, please.
Is that still -5, was it? Or is that not happening anymore?
No, he would be slightly further away. You can move in closer if you wanted.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Cool.
That would improve it.
Awesome. I'll say that you can get to about between 7 to 12. So, yeah, go ahead and roll me shoulder arms. That'll be a 15 to hit. That's what you need to get.
I'd say 19.
19 hits. Roll me damage on your armor, please. On your shotgun, even.
That was a 5, a 6, and a 3, so that's... It's about... Oh, I can't do...
It's fine. Just use the calculator if you
can't
need.
do maths
It's
quickly.
absolutely fine.
Under pressure.
Quentin,
that's
you'll be
14.
14.
Yeah.
Great. Quentin, you'll be up next. So 14. That's going to be 6, 10, 8. He is now considered seriously wounded, so he's going to have a -2 to everything. The first one, the one that you hit in the face, and now you just hit in the body, and he's just like pistol's just hanging down. He's taking a deep breath, kind of hand on the side of one of the towers. Do you move back out, or do you stay there ready?
Is it possible to maybe, or would this be considered their attack to maybe pull him down onto the ground, or would that be?
You could do that next turn, not exactly this turn, but yeah.
Yeah, he'll move back into cover now.
Cool, great. Quentin, we're up to you now.
I'm going to quickly say, focus on getting the thing. We can handle these guys. And go after the one that I shot last round.
Great, yeah. You can definitely find him like getting an angle and then shooting towards him. Go ahead and roll your pistol. That's going to be a 15 to hit. You need to get.
Oh, that's a 10 plus 13.
Roll again.
10, 15 plus 13, 28.
Nice. I
that
will
hit?
say roll your damage, please.
6, 3, and 2 is 11.
11. Yeah, you just bring your pistol shoot it out. What's the rate of fire on your pistol?
1.
What's the rate of fire on your shotgun? I think it's 2. Technically, you can have 2
Mine
shots.
says 2.
Yeah, you can have 2 shots at that. Sorry, I just remembered that, just caught that. But next time, although you're doing pretty well with 1 shot at a turn anyway. Yeah, cool. You just come out to try to get to an angle, shoot with your pistol, and you kind of impact him on the shoulder. He looks wounded, but not like ridiculously wounded like the other one, for example. He's still like looking around where the shot came. He's about to get his kind of pistol up to shoot
Can
you.
I duck back around the side?
Absolutely, yeah. You just roll over to get to cover. Security officer number 1. He is going to roll a cool check, which he's going to fail. He looks around, sees the situation. Fuck this! I don't get paid enough. Drops the pistol, starts running away. He's going to use his action to run, which is essentially dash, and he's out of there. So he's gone. Security officer 3 is going to look. Bastard! Going to shoot towards you. This guy's not giving up yet. 19 to hit. You're definitely close enough for that. So that's going to be. Every pistol is a 46. 4 and 10, 11 points on your armor, on your 11 points on your chest, on your body.
That is 11 SP.
Cool. No damage to you, but your armor goes down to 10. Your SP on your body armor, and he's going to move right around to cover. He's actually going to run slightly away, so you can't reach him next turn. Bio, we're up to you.
I'm going to try and fix my grappling gun. I have my own priorities.
Absolutely.
I'm like, reasons?
Yeah.
I love it. 2, we can't escape through a window without this.
Absolutely. Roll me a maker again.
6.
6.
Yeah.
You try to get it to work. It's not budging, unfortunately.
I'd like to then just move to where I think the server kind of thing with the ghost drive will be.
Cool. You actually damn it. You just pop it to the side and you actually start following the cables on the floor. You just kind of take a moment to start following the cables to see where they go, and you just move to get the closest possible towards what appears to be the main tower in this section here. You will be able to reach it next turn. Bishop, we're up to you now.
Can he try and manhandle this person with the pistol that you just shot into where he is and get him on the ground and maybe get his hands behind his back with the handcuffs that he has?
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Go ahead. You kind of rush him. Go ahead and roll me a rolling check, please.
What's happened to the Hippocratic Oath? Just here.
Nothing now.
Do you know how?
What check was that?
Brawling
That
check,
doesn't
please.
exist anymore. Robots.
That's a 13.
13. It is a contested roll, and he has a -2 on everything. That's 6 plus his rolling. Or his evasion, which is 6. So 6, 12. He rolls a 10. So you grab onto him, push him to the floor. That will be your action, though, unless you want to say something to him. Cool. You push him to the floor, you're pinning him down, and he doesn't look like he's going anywhere. At the end of your turn?
Would it still be possible to maybe get the pistol out of his hands, or is that?
Ooh, a design check. Roll me in athletics, just really quickly.
The other guy dropped his pistol as well.
He did, he dropped his pistol.
That's a 13.
13. He rolls a 10. That's athletics, which is 8 -2, 16. Unfortunately, he's like holding on. There's currently 2 very heavy pistols on the floor. One of them from the one that you chopped in half, the other one from the one that just said fuck this and just decided to run away. Cool. Security operative. No, Quentin, it is your turn, sorry.
How far is it between one of the very heavy pistols and Rio?
A little bit ways away. We're talking about 20 meters or so.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna take up a position blocking any fire that would hit Vio and go on Overwatch.
And sorry? Oh, go on Overwatch. Yeah,
Overwatch.
absolutely. Towards the door, there's a jar into this room.
Sure, yeah.
Cool. Security officer number 1, he's going to try and break that grapple, so please roll me a brawling check again. 13.
It's a 17.
Nice, yeah. He tries to wiggle, can't make it. That's going to be his action to try and get out of it. Which means we are down to security operative number. How about Vio? Down to you.
I would like to go to where the ghost drive should be held and try to break down the security on that.
Cool.
Through kind of the system.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Roll me a security tech / electronics / security tech.
15.
15.
With a 1.
You
There's one number on this dice.
you pump your well, still not working. You kind of like walk it out, put it up and rigid, like to try and click on buttons.
I could do it manually.
Yeah. Eventually, you arrive at the security tech. You start pumping in the codes that you know. It's going to take you a little bit, but you are starting to get in.
I'm just humming whilst doing this. Out of stress now. Like, damn, grapple's not working.
Yep, absolutely. It is your turn, Bishop.
He is going to try and restrain him again.
Yep, go for it.
Handcuffs. And that's brawling.
Sorry?
And is that brawling?
That would be disarming athletics, sorry.
Oh.
Do you still have luck points?
Now where would that be?
Athletics are right at the top of the room. Oh no, yeah. Top left.
Okay. Yeah, that's still 10. I think I'm gonna pour 3 luck points into that and make that 13.
Sorry, what was that?
Put 3 luck points into that and make that 13. That's-
13.
Yeah.
You kind of put your hand on the gun and then shove it away, and the gun just goes, kind of impacts one of the towers and then rebounds a little bit. But he is disarmed now. Cool. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yeah, could he try and actually, yeah, that's his action. Yeah. That's
Cool.
done.
Quentin, you're up.
I'm gonna go after one of these very heavy pistols
Go.
and drop into cover.
And sorry?
Pick it up and drop into cover.
Yep. You grab one of these very heavy pistols. It's very heavy, but you move down to cover to try and hide as much as possible. Anything else you'd like to do?
Can I still do Overwatch?
Yeah, I'll allow it. Cool. This security operative is going to try and break this grapple, so roll me a brawling, please.
That's a 9.
It's 15, so he actually this time shoves you up and away, and he's going to get up, and he is going to grab a knife from his back. He's going to attempt to stab you. So that's going to be a... Would you roll me a d10 and add your evasion to it, please?
Evasion. 5 evasion. That is a 17.
He rolls a 14, so he goes for a stab, but you just kind of move out of the way. Well done. He's got a rate of fire of 2 on knife though, so he's going to try again. So roll me another evasion. That is slightly better.
It was a 7 plus 12, so it is higher than the other one.
He rolls a 13, so he completely misses both swings. He's trying to go blindly at you. We're down to Vio now.
I'm going to How I'm gonna break the security rule. Try and break it down again.
Roll me another electronics add +3.
24.
24. No problem. This time you're just fully focused, even though your grappling gun is not working. You fully focus on the problem ahead of you, and suddenly, and you see files upon files upon files upon files, and one of them that pops out, like underneath the others. You see it for a second before the other files take over, and you start just moving stuff around, and eventually you find what is classified as GD.
I'd like to kind of take the hand, flip the USB device, and just try and stick it in. But I haven't taken the time to fix the hand yet.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of pop it in, and then you feel the kind of flow of information coming. You actually take it out at the end of your turn, and you have what you came here for.
I'd like to move over to as far as I can towards the grapple gun.
Great. We're down to Bishop now again.
He's just gonna think, enough messing around, he's just gonna hit this person in the face with his shotgun.
Okay, go for it.
A melee attack, but yeah.
A melee attack, yeah, that's
not,
fine. Roll me a melee weapon then.
Pistol whip with a shotgun.
Sure.
That is a 14.
14, you hit, he rolls a 10 to evade. Roll me 2d6s, please.
6.
6, great. He's going to take 6 points of damage to break it.
And he's going to try and knock this person out and try and knock this person unconscious.
Very close. That'll be the end of your turn, unless there's anything else you'd like to do. Quinton.
With the pistol secured, heading back to grapple gun time, can I pick a window and shoot it so it breaks?
With a pistol?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, no problem. You just kind of point, shoot, and then the glass kind of dives into the city below. And you just see shards and shards and shards just going, and there's an entire window square that's just not there anymore. Cool. Anything else that you would like to do or say? Or
More Overwatch. That's our way out.
we're down to security operative 3. No gun, only a knife against a shotgun. He's not stupid. He's going to run away. That will trigger your Overwatch, though, if you would like.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll. Handgun, please.
15.
15. Yeah, that will hit. A very heavy pistol deals 5d6.
6 and a 5 is 11. 3 and a 5 is 8. That's 19. Another 6.
Okay. 20.
25. Plus a double 6.
25. He's dead. The double 6 doesn't even come into play. He's kind of like starts running away, and you just kind of point towards the middle of his back, shoot, and the shot just enters his back and leaves through his chest. He is dead. The combat is technically over, although the two of you start hearing more people coming up the stairs. The window is broken. What is everyone?
I'm trying to fix the grapple gun.
Roll me a make a check, please.
13.
13. No problem this time. You kind of look at it, kind of hit it on the side, twist some bits, and you just feel everything goes back into place.
We're all good here, right?
Quite a mean weapon, that. But yeah, we're all good.
I have to drive as well.
Perfect. Let's go.
All right.
Yes. Alright.
Okay. You go to the edge of the of the building does now open. Go ahead and roll me a heavy weapons.
I'd like to aim for the warehouse, so that way it's at least kind of aim not straight down.
Yeah.
So if we try to zip line, it's going to work.
No, absolutely.
Yes. What was the heavy weapon?
Heavy weapons, yeah.
17.
17, yeah. You kind of point, shoot, and then the grapple just goes ching, impact. Immediately you feel the tug and the zip line just goes fully like solid. Where are you attaching the other end of the zip line?
I'd say folded under some cables.
Yeah, I would like to kind of pull some of the cables off and kind of hook. I'd like to kind of pull the cord off and strap back to try as my best as I can to strap it to using some duct tape as well. Duct tape makes them more secure.
Absolutely.
To the top, so that way I've still got the gun,
Yeah.
but I can use that.
Great.
So
Go ahead and roll me a make a check. What are you, both of you doing?
Figuring out how the hell I'm going to go for the zip line on this without burning my hands.
Yep. Try to think about that.
He's gonna put his... Yeah, he'll put his shotgun on safety and try and use that to travel downhill.
Good thing.
11.
11. Yeah, no problem. You tie everything up. It feels pretty solid. Only one way to find out.
I'd like to pull another cord off and kind of use that. I'm going to try and use that. And I throw another one to Quinton.
Nice.
And one to Bishop.
What? Sorry, what was that?
I throw one of the kind of cords
Okay.
so you can use as the zip line.
Perfect.
So that way you won't burn your...
Yep.
I
also think I'm going to try and fix the hand. So that way I'm not...
That's actually a good shout. Roll me a make a check for this thing.
10 total.
10. Yeah, it is your cyber hand, so you will know how to fix it. At this point, you're starting to hear people crawling through the door, supporting what appears to be much heavier machinery than a very heavy weapon.
I'm getting these two out first.
Oh, right. Cool. This is the big one. I need all of you to roll me an athletics check.
I would like to use luck as well.
That's fine.
To add to 16.
That's also a 60.
Athletics. 6 plus 9.
15.
15. I'm going to throw 3 luck on that. 18.
What did you roll?
16.
16. The DC was 15. You launch your shotgun, both of you with cables around, and just the three of you just going through the zip line. You hear people behind you just coming to the top and just start shooting.
I would like to hold my middle finger up. And
They just start shooting at you, but the bullets go wide until one of them reaches, follows the zip line, takes out a knife and starts.
I'd like to turn the middle finger into a no.
Starts trying to cut the zip line itself.
Could he throw a smoke grenade in that? Would he be too far for that?
Do you have any spare gas canisters?
Do, but it's just if it hits, if it breaks the cord.
Smoke it is.
Go ahead and roll me a. That's gonna be tough.
Range? Is there something for that?
Yeah.
On my range thing there's 7, so I could go with that.
Sorry, I can't find what I'm looking for. So, yeah, go ahead and roll me a. Oh, there it is. No, that's. Roll me shoulder arms.
Okay. That's 17.
17. As you see that happen, you kind of wiggle your hip where the grenade is, the smoke grenade is, and the grenade starts to drop, and you just kick it and lob it out. Grenade doesn't quite reach where it needs to, but it blows up just in front, and you do have the idea that some of the smoke actually went into the thing. Who was going first on the zip line?
I was.
It can't have been Bishop because Bishop just used the grenade, so Bishop would have been the last.
Second. I would have
I'll be first.
You, both your feet impact the top of the warehouse, and just as you are like breathing, something impacts your back as Vio comes in and bah against your back, and both of you take a moment, look back, and here comes Bishop. Just the three of you just fall on top of the warehouse. Still mess up happening on top of the Arasaka building. What are you guys doing?
I'd like to try and kind of pull the cord.
Cool, yeah. You pull it, and you actually hear a scream, and you just see someone just dropping
all your
out
fault.
of the Arasaka building and impacts the floor. Screams happen, and you see just blood splatter at the end of the building.
Another day.
It's called Cyberpunk Red because of the viscera.
Yep.
Military grade my ass. We did it.
And
We're still on a warehouse.
You guys start running away, I suppose. trying to-
On the top of the warehouse where we land, I'm going to leave one of my disposable phones. And the entire system is just the message, ha. HA, nothing else.
Nice. Okay. I should say as well that the zip line just after you pulled it, it was already weakened because it was being cut, and that last tug just sent it down, and you just feel the zip line kind of
I'd like
fold
to start
the side of the
wheeling
building.
it back.
You could actually use it to make your way down the warehouse if you wanted on the side.
Yeah, I'll let the others go down, and then on the way, when I get to the bottom, I'll try and pull it because that's still part some.
Yeah, no worries. You like make a wave and you see the wave going up, and then the hook kind of goes.
So that way I can fix it at some point.
Yeah,
keep it ready.
absolutely. That's absolutely fine. And then where are you going?
Straight to the fancy bar.
The vampire.
The vampire, yeah. You leg it like there's no tomorrow, because if you stay, there might not be. Yeah.
While we're going, can we go back through the dodgy part with the cyborgs?
You can definitely go through the
Can
dodgy
I
pocket.
plant my ID card on the chameleon?
I would like to instead just toss mine into the air.
Sure.
And
In the cyborg area.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's free money! Once I point at it.
Yeah, the three of you dispose of the ID cards in there, and you start making your way. You definitely like slip your ID into like to the body of the chameleon, and eventually, eventually the three of you arrive at the vampire, kind of taking a breath, and yeah, eventually Richmond comes over, and says, "Well, I hear you have some news for me."
Yeah.
What is it?
We have been successful in our attempt at taking what you wanted.
Kind of looks at his biomonitor, which just appears on his arm. Well, that's quick work. Kind of slides a small kind of drive to you. The intel.
I would like to upload the USB, but try and just the Ghost Drive parts of it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So that way I still have all the other information of security there.
You can do that, no problem. You kind of pass all the GD information, and yeah, Richmond says after a couple of minutes, just looks. Well, this is mighty impressive. I'm sure we'll be seeing much of each other in the future. See, you didn't need the muscle. It was all good.
Who needs muscle when you've got a homemade grappling gun?
Yes,
You
You
have
owe
a
me-
homemade grappling.
you owe me a new suit. Mine's covered in blood.
Ah, you can do that one. You can just wash it
The
off.
entire suit's covered in blood. Well,
Well. Suppose the only thing left to do is, hey,
I've got one query.
yeah.
From from the looks of it, we finished it in record time. Is there a chance we could have a little bonus?
I like the way you think.
Kind of looks at the three of you.
Homemade grappling gun.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion, and you can have a +5 because these guys are helping you technically. Persuasion will be on social skills to the right.
That's a 14.
14.
Plus
With a +5.
Yeah.
That looks. Ha! I like me some edge runners. Tim! Throw in an extra 750 for each.
Oh. Well, that's very kind of you.
No. A good job in record time deserves recognition. Now go. Enjoy the money while you can.
I'm out.
Right. The three of you start making your way out. Your bank accounts slightly more. Yeah, slightly fuller. What do you do with the money, Quentin?
I am investing in some personal bodyguards.
Yeah.
For at least the first thing I do. The rest is probably going to go towards camera equipment.
Yep. What does the... actually, roll me a credibility check. Which is your special ability.
4 + 4, 8.
4 + 4, 8. Yeah. Nice. What is the extent of the story that you write about, if any, about this this small endeavor of 3 individuals into the building of Arasaka?
Nothing that wouldn't be covered in regular crime-related news, except probably the detail of the phone, which would have been usually left out of the initial report.
That you sent her.
I will include that in it as a little tip-off to myself.
Nice, yeah. With a roll of 8, which roll you got? The story reaches very, very well. It starts to reach national level, essentially. A group of individuals that no one has ever heard of suddenly manages to jump into Arasaka, infiltrate it almost from within without really going with a net runner, because they could analyze the work that was done and they realized that there wasn't a net runner being in the work, without anyone that would look like some sort of solo or bodyguard. It kind of becomes this weird, like, on the national level, it's like, well, yeah, that happened, but on a down to earth level on the streets, it kind of becomes a little bit of a myth, like, that can possibly happen. It's not possible. But yeah, so your story actually.
I'm including a full column of just how lousy the architecture and style is.
Like a
Light neon.
a Yelp review or something. Oh, yeah.
1 star.
Yeah.
Too much neon.
Too much neon.
The attendant was nice, but they're a little robotic.
What does Bishop do with the money, and what's the aftermath of this small little adventure?
He's gonna pay what do you think some like local famous bands are?
Nice.
What is there any like names? Pretty famous bands around the area. He's gonna try and pay them kind of like equivalent of a bard making a story of gallant adventurers. He's gonna pay them to make a story about their heist, but leave out their names, of course, and that it was actually them.
So you write like a small kind of digital book or digital like short story about it.
Yeah.
Um,
And then he'll just invest the rest into his little clinic where he
Nice. Very nice.
attends people.
What does Vio do?
Realizing that he will probably put quite a bit of the money into building his own kind of robotic kind of companion, which acts as a sort of bodyguard as well. But it's just kind of for protection, as well as he will kind of start, if it's okay, kind of keeping connection with Quinton and Bishop, and kind of delve into more scientific games, but kind of building this protector of his, and with any other leftover money, he'll build a better harping grapple.
Does he do anything about the state of his workshop?
No, it's perfect the way it is. There's nothing wrong with it.
Cool. It is a like strange couple of weeks for you guys as you try to keep a little bit on the down low as much as possible. You do, however, hear of one point that 3 individuals were apprehended within the cyborg area of Night City as they were carrying the ID cards that were used to access certain parts of the Arasaka building.
I am going to be adding to my. I'm going to write another story about how the police always target the cyborgs and how they're
Yeah.
probably.
There's no justice in this society.
No,
Yep.
that's not fair. Just because they're a bit different.
You kind of hear about how after that happened, there was this guy that was interviewed saying that, of course, the people that have cybernetics are the ones that are going to be responsible for crimes like this. But once that happens, the 3 of you breathe slightly easier, and you get ready for whatever it is the Night City is going to throw at you the next time, and whatever it's going to be high velocity and very tough.
Hopefully gas propelled.
Yeah, hopefully with some muscle next time. Well, you have your bodyguards, so
We have bodyguards now. We built our own muscle.
it'll be fine. Yeah. Thank you very much for playing Cyberpunk Red. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you very much for watching us. We are just about to take another short break, and you will have Alex taking care of the next game with a very, 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 very cool and a game that I'm very excited about, Kids on Bikes. If you have ever experienced sort of like Stranger Things or any Spielberg film, you're going to love that. We'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll see you then.